Welcome to BookBuzz Reviews and Summaries. Dear readers, esteemed leaders, seekers of wisdom, and those who dare to journey into the depths of self-discovery, lend me your ears. Today, we embark on a transformative expedition, a voyage not across uncharted seas or distant lands, but into the deepest corridors of the human heart and mind. We stand on the precipice of a revelation, a truth so profound and yet so often hidden in plain sight, the power and peril of self-deception. Imagine this. You are striving to lead with integrity, to inspire those around you, to cultivate an environment of trust, collaboration, and growth. You set goals, devise strategies, and make decisions with the best of intentions. Yet, despite your earnest efforts, conflicts arise, relationships falter, and progress stalls. You look around, perplexed, and perhaps quietly you wonder, what more can I do? What am I missing? The answer, my friends, may not lie in what is external, but in what is internal. It is within the silent narratives we tell ourselves, the subtle lenses through which we view the world, and the invisible box that may confine us without our knowing. This box is not built of walls and doors, but of thoughts and perceptions, a construct of self-deception that distorts reality and hinders our ability to truly lead. It is here that leadership and self-deception, Getting Out of the Box by the Arbinger Institute, steps in as a beacon of enlightenment. This is not just a book. It is a mirror. It reflects back to us our own blind spots and offers a path to liberation. It challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truth that, more often than not, the obstacles we face are not external forces, but the result of our own inward mindset. It is a call to courage, a plea to awaken from the slumber of self-justification and to see ourselves and others with fresh, unclouded eyes. The Arbinger Institute, with its profound insights and practical wisdom, unveils a new paradigm of leadership. It teaches us that true leadership is not merely about what we do, but about how we see. It is about recognizing when we are in the box and understanding how this impacts our relationships and decisions. It is about breaking free from the constraints of self-centered thinking and embracing a perspective that honors others as they truly are, as people with hopes, fears, and dreams as real as our own. In these pages, you will find stories that resonate, lessons that challenge, and strategies that empower. You will learn how to dismantle the box, how to move from blame to responsibility, and how to transform your influence by transforming yourself. You will discover that the most powerful leadership begins not with the mastery of others, but with the mastery of oneself. So, I invite you to dive deep into this journey. Approach it not merely with an open mind, but with an open heart. Allow its teachings to permeate your understanding, to shift your perspective, and to ignite a change that begins with you, but extends to everyone you touch. For when you lead from a place of authenticity and clarity, you do not just change your organization, you change the world. Now, let us step boldly into this exploration of leadership and self-deception. Let us embrace the challenge of getting out of the box, not just for our own sake, but for the sake of those we lead and love. The door to growth, transformation, and true leadership stands before you. All you need to do is open it. Welcome to Leadership and Self-Deception. The journey begins now. Part 1: Summary of Leadership and Self-Deception. Getting Out of the Box by the Arbinger Institute. Chapter 1: The Meeting That Changed Everything. Our story begins with a man named Tom Callum, a newly hired senior manager at the fictional Zagram company. Tom is about to have a meeting with Bud Jefferson, the company's executive vice president, a meeting that will not only set the tone for his new role, but will also shatter his understanding of leadership. Bud wastes no time. He tells Tom that despite his impressive track record, there's a problem not with his skills or strategies, but with how he perceives and treats people. Tom is confused, even defensive. But Bud, with the precision of a seasoned mentor, starts to peel back the layers. In this chapter, we witness the first crack in Tom's armor. The authors introduce us to a concept called self-deception, the idea that when we are in the box, we cannot see the reality of our impact on others. We become blinded by our own justifications, convinced that the problem is everyone else, never us. And just like that, the stage is set. We, the readers, are no longer mere spectators, but participants in this unfolding story, eager to see what lies beyond the meeting room doors. Chapter 2. In the Box: How We Become Blind to Ourselves. In this powerful chapter, Bud takes Tom on a deeper dive into the concept of the box. Imagine a world where you see everyone around you as objects, tools to be used, obstacles to be avoided, or irrelevancies to be ignored. This is life inside the box, a state where self-deception thrives. But how do we get into this box? The answer is simple yet profound: betrayal of self. The authors explain that every time we go against what we know is right, whether it's a nudge to help someone, a call to show compassion, or a chance to listen with empathy, we betray ourselves. This self-betrayal triggers a chain reaction of justifications, where we start to blame others to validate our own behavior. For example, if you see someone struggling and choose not to help, you might justify it by thinking they should have planned better or I'm too busy. And just like that, you slip into the box. Your view of them distorts, and your actions follow this skewed perspective. This chapter is a mirror, reflecting back not only Tom's experiences, but our own. It makes us question, where am I in the box in my own life? Chapter 3. The Impact of Living in the Box. Once inside the box, the consequences are far-reaching. Bud reveals to Tom that when we are in the box, our leadership suffers, not because of what we do, but because of how we see. We stop seeing people as people with hopes, fears, and needs. Instead, we see them through a filter of blame and justification. This distorted view creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you see someone as lazy, you treat them with distrust, and your behavior might lead them to disengage, proving your original assumption. The box perpetuates conflict, diminishes trust, and erodes collaboration. The authors illustrate this with vivid examples, showing how workplace struggles, family disputes, and personal frustrations often stem not from external factors, but from our internal state. This chapter challenges us to confront the uncomfortable truth that when things go wrong, we might not just be part of the problem. We might be the problem. Chapter 4. Collusion, the Vicious Cycle. Here we unravel a dangerous cycle, the dance of collusion. Bud explains to Tom that when we are in the box, we not only see others negatively, but we also provoke the very behavior we despise. For instance, a manager who sees their team as incompetent might micromanage. This suffocates the team's initiative, leading them to act less competently, reinforcing the manager's belief. It's a loop, a vicious cycle of blame and justification. Bud calls this phenomenon collusion. It is a silent agreement where both parties provoke and justify each other's worst behavior. The chapter's brilliance lies in showing us that collusion isn't just about others. It's a reflection of our own mindset. It asks the critical question, what cycles am I part of, and how can I break free? Chapter 5. Seeing Others as People, a New Perspective. Finally, we glimpse the light at the end of the tunnel. Bud introduces Tom to the idea of seeing others as people, not as objects, but as human beings with their own desires, struggles, and worth. This chapter is a revelation. It introduces a simple yet transformative shift in perspective. Instead of focusing on how others are failing us, we focus on how we might be failing them. When we see people as people, our actions naturally align with empathy, understanding, and genuine leadership. The authors offer practical tools to recognize when we're slipping into the box and how to consciously step out of it. They teach us that the path to change is not through forcing others to change, but by changing how we see and respond to them. Chapter 6. The Way Out of the Box. The final chapter of Part 1 is nothing short of a breakthrough. Bud lays out a roadmap for getting out of the box. 1. Notice when you're in the box. Self-awareness is the first step. Recognize the signs of self-deception, blame, justification, and distorted perceptions. 2. Embrace the truth. Accept that the problem may not be out there, but within you. This humility opens the door to change. 3. Act on your sense of rightness. Instead of betraying yourself, take action in alignment with your inner guidance. Show kindness, listen openly, and lead with integrity. The chapter closes with a powerful exercise. Imagine seeing others through the eyes of someone who loves them. What changes in your perception? What changes in your behavior? This exercise is not just theoretical, but a practical tool to shift from being in the box to living outside of it. A call to action. And so, part 1 of Leadership and Self-Deception sets the stage for a profound transformation. It calls us not merely to change our behaviors, but to change our hearts. It challenges us to examine the invisible walls of our box, to break free from the chains of self-justification, and to lead, not only in the workplace, but in every relationship, with clarity, compassion, and courage. This is a story not just for managers or CEOs, but for parents, partners, friends, and anyone who seeks to build authentic connections and lead a life of true influence. So, stay with me as we venture into parts 2 and 3, where we'll learn not only how to stay out of the box, but how to help others do the same, how to create cultures, families, and workplaces where everyone can thrive. The journey has only just begun. Part 2 Summary. Dear readers, esteemed listeners, the journey continues. We've cracked open the door to self-awareness, but now we must walk through it. In Part 1, we learned about the box, how we get in, and the damage it does to our leadership and relationships. But if Part 1 was the diagnosis, then Part 2 is the cure, a roadmap to not only escape the box but to transform our lives and lead others to do the same. So, let us press forward with the wisdom and vigor of those who know that true leadership starts from within. Hold on tight, because the revelations ahead are not only eye-opening but life-changing. Chapter 7. Stepping Out of the Box. When we last left Tom, he had just grasped the depth of his self-deception. Now, Bud explains that getting out of the box is not merely a mental shift, but a profound change in how we see and treat others. The key? Seeing people as people. This might sound simple, but its power is transformative. It means recognizing others' hopes, fears, and needs as real and valid as our own. Instead of viewing coworkers as obstacles or tools, we see them as individuals, each with their own story. Bud shares a story of his own struggle with being in the box toward his teenage son. His honesty strikes a chord with Tom, and with us. It's a humbling reminder that no matter how successful or experienced we are all vulnerable to self-deception. Chapter 8. The Influence Pyramid, a Model for Change. Now we move from theory to practice. Bud introduces the Influence Pyramid, a tool for creating change when things go wrong. Imagine a pyramid divided into layers. 1. Correct top layer. 2. Teach and communicate. 3. Listen and learn. 4. Build relationships. 5. Get out of the box, foundation. At the base of the pyramid is getting out of the box. Why? Because every attempt to influence others while we're still in the box will fail. We'll communicate blame, frustration, and negativity, no matter what words we use. From this foundation, the pyramid rises through building genuine relationships, listening deeply, teaching with empathy, and finally, correcting others in a way that encourages growth. The chapter paints a clear picture. When problems arise, we often want to jump straight to correction. But true influence is built on a solid foundation of authentic connection. Chapter 9. Leading Out of the Box. This chapter is a clarion call to leaders everywhere. Bud emphasizes that leadership is not about control or authority, but about influence. And influence begins with how we see people. Tom learns that when a leader is in the box, it creates a ripple effect. A manager in the box will foster a culture of blame, defensiveness, and low morale. But when a leader is out of the box, it creates an atmosphere of trust, collaboration, and inspiration. Bud challenges Tom, and us, to think of leadership not as a position but as a way of being. Every interaction is an opportunity to choose. Will I see this person as a problem to be fixed or as a human being to be understood? Chapter 10. Inviting others to change. The path to influence is not through force, but through invitation. Bud shares a powerful story about a manager who struggled with a disengaged team. Instead of doubling down on demands, the manager decided to openly share his own journey of getting out of the box. He modeled vulnerability, acknowledged his mistakes, and asked for feedback. The result? His team responded not just with compliance, but with genuine engagement. They didn't change because they were told to, they changed because they felt seen and valued. This chapter drives home a critical lesson. We cannot push others out of their box. We can only invite them by being out of ours. It's not about manipulation or tactics, but about leading by example and showing others a better way. Chapter 11. How do I stay out of the box? Getting out of the box is one thing, staying out is another challenge altogether. Bud offers Tom practical strategies to maintain this mindset. The secret lies in a simple yet profound practice, renewing our commitment to see others as people every single day. He encourages Tom to create reminders, journal about his experiences, and seek feedback from trusted colleagues and loved ones. This chapter is rich with practical advice, but its core message is one of vigilance. The box is a sneaky thing. It creeps back in through stress, conflict, and ego. To stay out of the box, we must remain humble, open, and reflective. Chapter 12. The Power of Humility. Humility, the bedrock of lasting change. Bud explains that humility is not thinking less of ourselves, but thinking of ourselves less. When we are humble, we create space for others to be seen and heard. We listen without an agenda. We lead without needing credit. Tom realizes that humility is not a weakness, but a strength. It's what enables a leader to connect deeply with others, to inspire trust, and to build a culture where people feel safe to bring their whole selves to work. Bud shares a powerful story of a CEO who transformed his company not through bold strategies, but through small, consistent acts of humility, thanking his staff, listening to their concerns, and admitting his own mistakes. This story is a testament to the idea that leadership is not about being right, but about doing right. A powerful turning point. And so, as we close part 2, Tom is no longer the same person who walked into Bud's office. He has seen the box, learned its dangers, and discovered the path to freedom. He is ready not just to lead, but to inspire, not just to manage, but to transform. But, my friends, the journey is not over. In the next part, we will explore how Tom applies these lessons in real-life scenarios, how he faces the inevitable challenges, and how he becomes a leader who not only steps out of the box, but helps others do the same. Stay with me, because the most powerful lessons are yet to come. Together, let us continue this journey toward true leadership, where every action is an opportunity to uplift, every interaction a chance to connect, and every moment a step toward becoming the leader we are meant to be. Part 3 Summary. Dear readers, fellow seekers of truth and transformation, the final leg of our journey is upon us. We have explored the depths of the box, learned how to escape its confines, and glimpsed the profound impact of seeing others as people rather than objects. But now, in Part 3, the story crescendos to its climax. Here, theory meets reality, and we witness what it truly means to lead out of the box, not only in the workplace but in every corner of our lives. This is where transformation becomes tangible, where change is not just possible but inevitable. And so, with the energy of discovery and the precision of purpose, let's dive into this final act. Chapter 13. From Understanding to Action. Tom has come a long way since his first meeting with Bud. He now understands the concept of the box and the power of seeing others as people. But knowledge alone is not enough. He must now put this understanding into practice. Bud challenges Tom to apply the lessons of the influence pyramid and to begin by focusing on building relationships and truly listening to those around him. This chapter is a call to action. Reminder that leadership is not just a mindset but a practice, a series of intentional choices that shape the culture of an organization and the quality of our relationships. Tom decides to start small, engaging with his team, asking genuine questions, and seeking to understand their perspectives. The shift is palpable, not just in his actions, but in his very presence. His team begins to respond with openness and trust. Tom is learning that influence is not about asserting power, but about creating space for others to flourish. Chapter 14: Transforming Work Culture. As Tom practices leading out of the box, the ripple effect begins to take hold. The once toxic work environment starts to shift. People who felt undervalued begin to contribute more openly. Conflicts that used to escalate into blame games are now approached with curiosity and a desire to understand. Tom's transformation influences his direct reports, who in turn influence their teams. The company starts to see improved collaboration, creativity, and morale. But it's not just about the metrics. There is a sense of renewed purpose and shared mission. Bud emphasizes that this transformation is not about perfection. Mistakes still happen and tensions still arise, but the difference lies in how they are handled. There is now a collective commitment to stay out of the box, to see and treat each other as people, and to address problems with humility and accountability. Chapter 15: The Challenge of Sustaining Change. Every story of change meets resistance, and Tom's journey is no different. There are setbacks. Some colleagues are skeptical, others resistant to the new approach. Old habits die hard, and stress brings temptations to slip back into the box. Tom experiences his own struggles. Under pressure, he finds himself slipping back into seeing others as obstacles, especially when deadlines loom or when mistakes are made. But Bud is there, guiding him to recognize these moments as opportunities for growth. This chapter is a powerful reminder that staying out of the box requires vigilance. It is a daily practice of reflection and renewal. It is about acknowledging our humanity, both in our strengths and our shortcomings. Tom learns that falling back into the box is not failure. It is a natural part of the process, as long as he uses these moments to reset and realign. Chapter 16: Leadership Beyond the Workplace. The lessons of leadership and self-deception do not stop at the office door. Tom begins to see how being in the box has affected his personal life, his relationships with his wife, his children, and his friends. He recalls moments where he treated his family as interruptions rather than as individuals with their own needs and desires. With newfound awareness, Tom approaches his loved ones with the same humility and openness he has cultivated at work. He listens, apologizes, and begins to rebuild connections. The transformation is profound. His marriage improves, his children become more open with him, and he finds joy in relationships that had become strained. This chapter reveals the universal power of the Arbinger principles. When we see people as people, it enriches every aspect of our lives. Chapter 17: Helping Others Out of the Box. Now that Tom is firmly on his path, he wants to help others see what he has seen. But Bud cautions him, helping others out of the box is not about preaching or forcing change. It is about inviting them through example. Tom learns to model being out of the box. He focuses on living the principles rather than dictating them. He creates an environment where others feel safe to reflect and grow. When conflicts arise, he approaches them with empathy and seeks to understand before being understood. A pivotal moment comes when a colleague who had been resistant to change approaches Tom for advice. Instead of seeing this person as a problem to solve, Tom listens deeply, shares his own journey vulnerably, and offers support without judgment. It is a breakthrough, not only for the colleague but for Tom as well. He realizes that true leadership is about lifting others up, not dragging them along. Chapter 18: The Lasting Impact of Leading Out of the Box. As we reach the conclusion, we see the lasting legacy of Tom's transformation. The company culture has shifted, relationships are stronger, and the business results reflect the change. But beyond numbers and metrics, there is a deeper story, the story of individuals who feel valued, seen, and heard. Tom has not only escaped the box but has become a catalyst for helping others do the same. His journey is a testament to the idea that leadership is not a destination but a continuous journey of self-awareness and service to others. Bud and Tom reflect on the incredible change that has taken place. Bud reveals that he too continues to battle with the box every day. His honesty underscores a powerful truth: no one is ever completely free of self-deception. The difference lies in how quickly we recognize it and choose to step back out of the box. A final call to action. And so, dear listeners, as we close this incredible story, the question turns to us. Where are we in the box? Who in our lives do we see as objects rather than people? Where are we justifying ourselves instead of seeing clearly? The wisdom of leadership and self-deception is not just for CEOs or managers. It is for anyone who wants to build stronger relationships, create positive change, and live a life of integrity and influence. The path forward is clear: get out of the box, stay out of the box, and invite others to join us. It is not easy, but it is simple. And every day, with every choice, we can decide to see others as they truly are. So, let us lead not just with our words, but with our actions. Let us build cultures of openness and trust in our workplaces, in our homes, and in our hearts. And let us do so with humility, with courage, and with love. Thank you for being part of this journey, and may the lessons of this remarkable book guide you toward a future where every interaction is an opportunity for growth, every relationship a chance for connection, and every day a step closer to the leader you were meant to be. Thanks for listening to Book Buzz reviews and summaries. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new video updates.